welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. So today we're going to be finding out what are the urgent messages that your spirit guides, your spiritual team want you to know. So this is a timeless reading, so it doesn't matter when you click on this video. It will just be urgent messages for whatever time period you are currently in your life. So we're going to be reading the cards, and then we'll also be pulling a meditation at the end from our little Dear Universe book, and then we'll also be pulling some Spark Grace matchsticks at the end. And we've got 3 groups to choose from today. I'm gonna go ahead and add these little tea bags to make it a little bit easier to select your group. So we've got pile 1 with the passion tea, we've got pile 2 with cinnamon stick, and we've got pile 3 with Irish breakfast. So if you need a moment, go ahead and pause the video. The timestamps are listed below in the description box. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy your reading. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, for all my pile 1s who chose the passion tea, welcome to your reading. So we've got the Devil card, we've got the 10 of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. Okay, so some heavy energy to start out with. With this Devil card, it's a little bit interesting here, right? So typically with the Devil card, you would see 2 figures in front of, like, an image of the devil, right? With loose chains by their necks that they could free themselves, of at any point in time. This Devil card's a bit different, right? It's more of almost kind of like this intense stare of someone lurking in the shadows. Like, the way he looks here looks like he could sort of pounce at any moment, right? But then it's still like, this is a fairy card deck, right? So it kind of feels like almost sort of like that crouching little devil on your shoulder. If you think about the old school like Tom and Jerry cartoons, right? The devil on one side. It's almost like you could flick that devil off of your shoulder if you chose to, just like in the typical, like tarot imagery where they could, like I said, remove the chains from around their neck if they chose to, right? So the urgent message from Spirit here, especially if we pair it with this 10 of Swords, where, clearly you've been attacked, clearly you've been wounded, but you're almost sort of wrapped up in your hurt, right? Like, these wounds here have almost put her in like a cocoon, right? So it's this kind of like prison of, sounds a bit dramatic to say like a prison of pain, but it's like a prison of hurt, right? That she sort of, the way her body posture here, it's like she has folded herself into it, right? She's all wrapped up in it. And it kind of makes me think of when someone is kind of wallowing in sort of grief. Like, there's no doubt that you've been hurt. In no way is Spirit discounting the pain that you've encountered. In no way is anyone invalidating your feelings, right? But with this 10 of Swords, I typically think of the 10 of Swords as like the worst has passed, yet you're still wounded, but there's still this air of resilience, right? Like, you're still reaching, you're not dead yet, right? You're knocked down, but you're not knocked out. With this, especially with the Devil card here, it would be so easy for you to wrap yourself up in your pain and stay there. It would be so easy for you to wallow in self-pity. It would be so easy for you to sort of live in your sadness, right? Like, sadness is helpful, when we think of sort of those uncomfortable, I don't want to say negative feelings, but those feelings that aren't happiness, right? Those feelings that are in contrast to the warm, fuzzy, happy feelings, right? those feelings, it would be easy to wrap yourself up in the comfort of this pain because at least you know it, right? It kind of reminds me of that Nirvana song where it's like, there's comfort in being sad. It's what you know, right? So whatever these swords are, whether it's unhealthy friendships, an unhealthy romantic relationship, family members who don't respect your boundaries, a job that is causing you significant distress, because this is significant distress and it's coming from all angles, right? Whatever has happened to you in the past, or even if it's still your current situation, it doesn't always have to be your situation. And with this Knight of Wands, it's sort of like this push, right? To leave. I mean, look at the face here. It's very resolute. It's very determined. It's asking you to move. It's okay to sit with your sadness, but you can't live with it, right? It can be helpful to a point to tell you what in your life needs to change, where you need to make a movement, what is no longer serving you, who is no longer serving you. Yes, all of these things. Sadness, grief, pain can teach us so much, but we're not meant to live in that energy. We're not meant to stay in it. And it is kind of strange, like even when we're unhappy, we can get comfortable in that unhappiness. It can become so familiar to us that the idea of even trying to find happiness seems overwhelming, scary, unrealistic, right? There's always a million reasons to stay in a current situation, even if it's making you actively unhappy. But there's also a million reasons, right, to change and to move. And so even though it feels impossible, you could very easily flick this devil off of your shoulder, okay? All right, let's find out more of what is going on here, okay? Pile one, what have we got? The fourth house. So the fourth house is ruled by Cancer. When I think of the fourth house, I think very heavily home and family. Cancer loves to be comfortable. Cancer loves to be cozy, right? If you think of Cancer, they are deeply emotional, but they have this hard outer shell. So with the fourth house, this Ten of Swords could absolutely be referring to something in relation to home and family that is not currently stable, that is not currently right. There's a need for you to move out of that hard outer shell. There's a need for you to open up. There's a need for you to be vulnerable. There's a need for you to move with the Knight of Wands. So you've been in this heavy water energy. It's time for you to reignite your passion, your creativity, your fire energy with the Knight of Wands. Okay, let's see what else we have. We've got Square, a challenging situation, a mountain to climb. Absolutely, I would say. If you're coming from the Ten of Swords, right? The Ten of Swords is an ending. So the urgent message here is that there's a chapter in your life that is closing. It is ending. And especially when I think of fire, I think of new beginnings. I think of kind of that like Two of Wands energy, right? With the square here, the Ten of Swords, it's sort of like a new opportunity, a new adventure, a new fresh chapter, a new start is being presented to you. You're being called to take it, okay? You're being called to rise to this challenge. And it's hard. With the Ten of Swords, like you're exhausted, right? You're tired. It's been a long, hard road. But there's so much potential here. There's so much opportunity. And when you have a card like the Ten of Swords, it's a bit reminiscent of the Tower. Something has to be cleared away for something new to come in. And that change can be painful. But what is on the other side of that change is so positive, is so wonderful, is so light, right? We think of fire, we think of light, we think of heat. There's so much warmth that is coming into your life, but you have to be open and willing to receive it. Okay, we've got Sagittarius, yes. So from that Cancer energy, from that fourth house energy of staying in what is comfortable. My moon is in the fourth house, so I love the fourth house. But I understand we can't always stay close to home, right? We can't always stay close to the things that feel safe. Sometimes with Sagittarius is the explorer, right? They are the world travelers. They are all about optimism and, like it says here, exploration and freedom. Sagittarius has this very, they're the archer, right? They have this like fearless quality to them. And they sort of have this outlook of like, it's very sunny. It's a bit like, well, things may not always go according to plan, but I'm capable. And I know my inner truth. Sagittarius is very big on truth. And so if it, for some of you, because it's a general reading, right, it's going to vary. For some of you, you're going to have to let go of certain friendships, maybe a romantic relationship that has run its course, right? So you're going to have to speak your truth. And in speaking your truth, some relationships will fall away, right? And others will stay. But you have to speak your truth to know, right, who is meant to continue on with you in this fresh start and who isn't. For others of you, you're going to be leaving a job. But I will say, like, this isn't the Tower card. I want to be very clear on, like, this distinction here. You're being called to rise to this challenge. Your spirit guides are offering you a new opportunity, but you're not being forced to take it. So if you choose to stay in what is comfortable, that's your choice, right? That's your own free will. But you have never think in any of this that you don't have a choice, because you absolutely do. Okay, let's get some more information here. This is very interesting. So with the Fairy Oracle, we have Inner Child. The fairies of playfulness remind you to take some time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly, fun, but stay safe. That's very like Sagittarius to me too. I think a lot of you, especially if you're coming out of the Ten of Swords and the Devil card, you probably have been feeling very serious. You've been working really hard just to keep your head above water, right? And even the fact that you chose the Passion Tea, there's a need for you to reignite and have more, almost have more balance in your life. Like, you're working hard, but you should also be playing hard. You know, life is meant to be enjoyed. And with this inner child, it could be helpful for you to think, what did I like to do when I was young? You know, what made me smile? What, you know, even if it's as simple as like going and watching a favorite movie that you enjoyed when you were a kid, even doing something as little as that can really lift your spirits. And I think when you've been so down and out and, you know, really almost probably depressed, you know, having some feelings of depression, doing something a bit fun and silly and lighthearted can really make all the difference. And of course, like, if you're actually thinking you may be clinically depressed, go seek mental health services if you're able to. But anyway, with this inner child card, even like you could go eat like a Lunchable, right? Like, eat something that you used to love when you were a kid, or even look up an old friend, you know, maybe that you haven't spoken to since high school. Something like that, I think, could be really helpful for you. All right, let's see what else we have. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? This, I think, works really well with this inner child card. When we're really, really young, okay, before sort of the peer pressure and the expectations from family and all that kind of set in, we're our like kind of like our truest, rawest self, right? Before, like if we think of like we come into the world, okay, that's based upon nature, and then as we grow up in our environment, we're affected by the nurturing, right? Nature versus nurture. For you all, when you connect to your inner child, kind of think too, what did I enjoy? What did I love? Who did I think I was before I started doing what everyone told me I should do, and before I started seeing myself, as the version that everyone else saw? If you were labeled the quiet one, or the serious one, or if you were labeled the wild child, we kind of have those labels put on us. And then it's kind of like, okay, you fit into that stereotype, you fit into that category. And, you get kind of stuffed in this box, and, especially depending on your family, depending on your culture, it can be hard to break out of that. And you could also be surrounded by people who are a bit intimidated by your potential, especially with the Knight of Wands and the Sagittarius. You have so much creative potential. You have so much passion. And if you haven't found your soul's purpose yet, if you feel like you don't know what you're passionate about, or you can't even name your hobbies, that is ending. I mean, that is definitely coming through for sure. But you don't have to dim your light to fit in. And you most certainly are a unique individual, and you shouldn't be trying just to fit in, right? That would be a great disservice to this passion, this fiery energy that you have. And I think maybe even you may come from a family or a background of, or maybe even just in your friend circle, where you feel a bit fundamentally misunderstood. You feel a bit mislabeled. I think there's an energy here of you feel like people don't really get you. They don't really see you very clearly. Okay. And it says your guidance is divinely guided here. You have a lot of spiritual support, and I think that's important to remember, especially when you're in the Ten of Swords energy, and remember, like, you were wrapped up in that cocoon of thorns. I mean, it was a kind of a brutal image there, right? It's so easy to feel alone, and if you feel misunderstood by the people around you, that can be even more alienating, right? So it's important to remember you can always, always, always call upon your guides. You can always know that you're never alone, right? You carry them everywhere with you. They're always with you, okay? So you can always talk to them. You can always call upon them when you need their help. Or even when you just need someone to listen. Pray, talk out loud, write it out. If you would rather journal, and address it to your spirit guides. They're always here for you. That's a big message they want you to know, that they are always, always here for you. And they understand you, right? They see you clearly. They see you better than you even see yourself, because they know with that Sagittarius card, with that Knight of Wands, they know what you are capable of. They know how great you can be. Okay, let's see what else we have. So we're going to get this cute little cat. I forget what they're called. I think they're called, like, maybe they're just called cat wisdom. I forget what they are. Okay, let's read this card. We've got Flo. Oh, I can't pronounce that. Cipher? I don't know. Okay. She is flexible, flowing, gentle like a light wind. She intuitively responds to the rhythms of the world around her. When a door opens, she just walks through easy as a breeze. When the door closes, she circles, eddies, and finds a window to slip, oh Lord, to slip silently through. She blooms with the spring and knows how to let go with the fall. She is change, and she welcomes change. Her strength comes not through resistance, but through perfect flow like a river sculpting the rocks, finding and making the space to keep moving. I love this card within the context of your reading. So we all go through cycles, right? Even thinking about like the Wheel of Fortune card, right? Like the wheel is always spinning. So there are ups and there are downs. There are times when we feel like we're winning, and there are times when we feel like we're losing, right? It's never always on the up and up, and it's always never on the down and down. So if you feel like you've been going through a rough time, and we know with the Ten of Swords that you have, what does that mean? You're due for a break. You're due for an opportunity, right? You've been down, you've been down, you've been down. Okay, that means all the stuff that wasn't serving you has been cleared away. Now we have space for good stuff to come in, right? Things we actually want. But you have to be able to be flexible and go with the flow and not cling so hard to these things that, are going to be cleared away regardless. So really, when an opportunity is presented to you, like I said, you don't have to take it, but it would benefit you so much to be in flow. What isn't for you, let it go, right? And even if you're wrong, if it's for you, it'll come back to you, right? So let it go, be in perfect flow, and when change comes, welcome it, and say, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't know what this change is going to bring. It's uncertain, it's different, it's uncomfortable, but that feeling will pass. It always does. And I'm just gonna go with the flow. As a type A person, I can tell you right now, this is very, very difficult for me personally. So I can definitely empathize with you all. It is a lot easier said than done. But no, just like with anything else, it takes practice, okay? And even Sagittarius, now that I'm thinking about it, Sagittarius is mutable fire. So for those of you who are a little bit unfamiliar with astrology, I'll go ahead and tell you really quick. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So Aries is cardinal fire, so you can think of that as the spark that starts the fire. Cardinal is like the starter, okay? Leo is fixed fire, so that kind of makes Leos a bit stubborn, right? They're fixed, they're not moving, they're not going anywhere, but they're stable. They don't change, okay? And then we have Sagittarius, which is mutable fire. Sagittarius is also the opposite sign to Gemini, which is mutable air. It's the most mutable sign of all the mutable signs, right? Air is highly changeable. But for you with this Sagittarius, change, right? Mutable. Things are changing. Things are in flux. Nothing here is stagnant. So it's not stable, it's not secure, it could change on a dime, but you gotta take the good with the bad, right? If you're gonna have this new influx of a fresh start, a new chapter, change, fire, passion, creativity, a lust for life, travel, exploration, freedom, if you're gonna have all that, you also have to embrace the uncertainty. You have to embrace that this thing is a bit wild, it's a bit changeable. It's not stable and secure, but it's also not stagnant, okay? All right, I hope that makes sense. So we're going to end the cards with two kind of positive, just oracle messages. We have, I'm unapologetic about what I desire, and I trust that what I focus on will grow. I think with this being unapologetic, when this fresh start comes in, and if you choose to take it, if you choose to act upon it, there's definitely a high chance that people in your life will be a bit critical because it's such a big change. And, you know, people may question you and say, is that really worth the risk? And this is saying, you know, you have to stand your ground and know that what you desire and what you want is really what you should be putting your intention into. And you trust that it will work out. You trust that your manifestations, all of that is going to grow. And you can't let those kind of seeds of doubt that other people are planting in your mind affect you. And we have, there's nothing sexier than my authentic truth. That is Sagittarius all day long. They are truthful people, okay? Sagittarius is kind of the philosopher, you know? They're really about those deep inner truths. They don't keep it superficial, like I'm a Gemini moon, so I can say this, but they don't keep it superficial like their Gemini counterpart. They like to go deep, right? And so there's definitely a need here, I think, for you really to also be honest with yourself, if we're gonna get to the root of it. Okay, so let's get these Spark Grace matchsticks. We'll pick out 3 for you. So 3 for my pile ones. Pile 1. Okay. So we've got thank a person who has helped you. So take some time for gratitude. Find time to appreciate your day's highlights. I think that can be really beneficial if you're in the Ten of Swords. If you can find just one glimmer of hope, you know, something to be optimistic about, that will help bring you into that Sagittarius energy faster. And we got identify the one thing that you were most grateful for today. Honestly, all of these to me, appreciate, thank, and grateful, all of that falls under the same umbrella of gratitude, right? So I think that would be a really good overall thing for you to start practicing a little bit more if you can. Okay, so all right, we're gonna get a Dear Universe meditation. I don't know if I mentioned this. I guess maybe I didn't in the intro. I went with the Alice in Wonderland theme for this reading because when I think of urgency, I always think of the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland because he's rushing to get to the Queen of Hearts and all this. So yeah, I don't think I mentioned that at all. And this was my great-grandmother's copy of Alice in Wonderland. She's passed away now, but I always like to have some little trinkets or some kind of thing that was hers in a reading because I think it just brings a nice sense of like comfort to the reading. I don't know, I always think her presence is here, but this was her copy. I used to read this to her when I was younger. Okay, anyway, sorry, we'll go ahead and get your meditation to end this reading. So I'm just gonna kind of flip at random and stop when I feel intuitively called to. So pile 1, pile 1, pile 1. Ah, okay, we've got moved. When you feel moved, it's as if your heartstrings have been pulled and the universe is sweeping you up into a moment of the appreciation of true beauty. It could be that you are touched by a kind gesture of a stranger. You might have watched a YouTube video of a dying husband's last words to his wife. Perhaps you heard of a news of a charity that has had a huge impact on the world. Feeling moved is the truest and purest essence of inspiration and transformation. Okay, and then we've got Dear Universe, send me experiences. Lord, I'm sorry, I am tripping up on my words really bad. Send me experiences that move me on a soul level. May I be surrounded with loved ones to share these moments with so that magical memories are created and cherished forever. Oh, wow, this goes really well with your reading. You feel moved. So there's something, okay, your spirit guides are tugging on your heartstrings a bit, okay? So send me experiences that move me on a soul level. So especially because I said with Sagittarius, there was this aspect of travel, right? So it's kind of funny. So there's this emotional movement, right? So you're going from the Ten of Swords, which is heavy, 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 right? To this bright, optimistic, sunny outlook of Sagittarius. That's a big emotional shift. And then there's also sending you experiences that will move you on a soul level. So, urgent message here is there are going to be experiences that push you and encourage you, lovingly tug on your heartstrings to get you to be in that Knight of Wands Sagittarius energy. It will be up to you whether you want to accept that offer, but there is going to be, regardless, a big emotional shift. Whether you want that internal shift to then reflect on your external circumstances will be up to you, but the opportunities will be there. Okay, so I hope that resonated. I really enjoyed this reading. I know the meditation at the end was a little bit different. Comment down below if you enjoyed it, and I will be happy to continue to include it in our readings. Let me know in the comments, pile one, if I probably already said that, but comment down below, pile ones, if you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated. Please like and share this video as well. I'm trying to grow our community, and it would help out a lot. And yeah, I hope that you all have a great day, and please take care, be gentle with yourself. That Ten of Swords can be rough, but know that we all go through it at some point. Okay, pile ones, I will see you in my next one. Okay, for everyone who chose the cinnamon stick black tea, pile two, welcome to your reading. I was telling pile one, I don't think I said this in the intro, but I went with an Alice in Wonderland theme today. Because when I think of urgency, I think of the white rabbit like rushing off to the Queen of Hearts and Alice chasing after him. So that's just a little bit of an explanation for the tablescape we have today. But let's get into your reading. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, we've got the Seven of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. So much like pile one, the urgent message here is that there is a fresh start coming in for you. There's a new chapter beginning with the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords here. Ace of Pentacles, we think of new career opportunities, financial abundance, new opportunities for you to increase your material wealth. This could even be as simple as someone unexpectedly giving you a gift, right? It's just an increase in your material abundance, and it's an opportunity for it. And with the Ace of Swords, we think of fresh ideas, sudden clarity on a problem that we've been having. It's like this sudden rush of insight, okay? Which is all very positive. And then we combine that with the Eight of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. It kind of, Lord, it kind of, it's sort of like there's this rush, there's this influx of good things coming in, but it's almost a bit overwhelming because it comes all at one time, and now you're overwhelmed by your choices. It's like there's so many good things to choose from that I don't know which way to go. And so you can kind of see she's sort of carefully inspecting each of her options here, right? She's examining it. And then with the Eight of Pentacles, I'm thinking for a lot of you, it's going to be a decision of whether you kind of want to go out on your own financially. So for some of you, this is going to be, I have this like promotion at work, or I have this kind kind of 9-to-5 job offer over here at this company, but I also wanted to start my own business. And so for some of you, it's going to be, well, okay, which way do I go? You know, do I stay over here? Do I go over there? What should I do? And for others of you, it's going to be more so you're graduating college and now you have all of these, you know, like potential career paths that would line up with your degree and your educational background. That kind of thing, it's going to vary from person to person since this is a general reading. But the good news is that for all of you watching who chose pile 2, there are a lot of opportunities in terms of your career. There are a lot of opportunities in terms of increasing your material wealth, your material abundance. So there's, yeah, like it's very sudden. It's going to happen a bit, even if you were expecting it, even if it was like, well, yeah, I knew I was going to graduate college. It's almost like, well, I always had it in my head that this is what I would do when I graduated, but now that I've started researching it and thinking about it, or because I talked to this person in the field, now I realize I have so many more opportunities than I ever, like, even thought of before. Like, I had never even conceptualized that I had all of these different possibilities and ways that I could go. So let's get some more information on this. So we've got Taurus. Oh man. Okay, when I think of Taurus, so Taurus is Earth, it's fixed Earth. When I think of Taurus, I definitely think of people who are go-getters, right? Like Taurus people work hard so they can have nice things, right? I think of, if you guys watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy on that show, she's a Taurus. And out of all of them, like, she makes her money from a legitimate business, and she's always, like, she's a musician, she's a songwriter, she's a singer, but maybe I shouldn't say musician, she's a singer. I guess your voice is an instrument. She's a singer and a songwriter, but, you know, she also has opened up restaurants, and she, you know, has these like spin-off TV shows, and I don't know, she does a lot of stuff, okay? I'm not even gonna get into everything that she does. She does a lot, but she's a Taurus. And when I think of Taurus people, like I said, they work hard because they like luxury. They like nice things. You know, it's fixed Earth, so they're very much tied to the material world. And so for you all, you don't have to be a Taurus, but the urgent message that is coming through is that this is going to be the energy that you are going to be embodying, and it's going to be very beneficial for you. You know, I absolutely believe that, you know, we're put here to enjoy this life, right? And I think Taurus people have a really deep appreciation for that. I'm not even talking about, you know, it goes beyond like owning things that are expensive. It's more so Taurus people enjoy the full expansiveness of the human experience. So they're going to really relish in like all of the senses, right? Like all of the things that come with having a physical human body that your soul inhabits. So like Taurus people, like there's a running joke, right? Taurus people love good food. Like that's just one example. So it's going to be like you're working hard, and this is your purpose because you want to fully enjoy life. You want access to all of the nice things that you've always dreamed of, or maybe you come from a wealthy background and you're wanting to maintain it. I don't know. But it's this certain lifestyle that you're trying to achieve, right? And because this is a general reading, what a good life looks like is going to really vary, right? From person to person. But whatever that is, it's definitely achievable with all of the opportunities that are coming your way. So let's find out some more. We've got opposition, imbalance, a point of tension, and a power struggle. And then we've got Neptune, dream and transcend. So with this opposition card here, there are a lot of opportunities that are coming your way. But the way I'm reading this is, it's sort of like some of them are opposing forces. So with that Seven of Cups, you can't have every cup, okay? Some of these cups are wildly different. And so it's calling you to make a choice and commit to it. With Taurus too, once Taurus people have made up their mind, because they're fixed earth, they're the bull, right? They're very stubborn. And that has its good points and its bad points. But in this reading, it's a good thing. So you decide, you commit, you work hard. That's the plan that Spirit is kind of laying out for you here. And of course, like working hard, yeah, there are going to be some challenges. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but you have to commit, you have to choose. If you try to halfway pick one option, halfway pick the other, you try to do too many things at once, you spread yourself too thin, how do I put this? You commit to one, flake, change it, wishy-washy, go back and forth, you overthink it, you get paralyzed, you never make a decision. None of that is a recipe for success, right? It's saying whatever you choose, you can be successful because you're you. You have the work ethic, you have the drive, you can do it, but you have to make a choice. Don't get stuck in the Seven of Cups. You know, the Seven of Cups, it's great to have all of these choices. What's the shadow side to that? Indecisiveness. So don't fall into that trap. With Neptune here, dream, it's kind of interesting to have Neptune, right? I think of Neptune, Pisces, very dreamy, this like weird, shadowy, unseen things. With Neptune here, if you're trying to think your way out of the problem, don't worry. With the Ace of Swords, clarity is going to come, but it's going to be through your intuition. And the answer may come to you very much in a dream. That's like a definite possibility. For some of you, that Ace of Swords moment is going to happen in your dreams, and you're just gonna wake up and know one morning what you're meant to choose. You know, like what is going to be the best fit for you. But I think you can definitely get caught up in an overthinking thought spiral. You know, this decision that you're gonna make, it's not one where you need to sit down and write a pros and cons list. Like if you try to do that, you're going to get even more confused. And even if you're watching a bunch of pick-a-card readings to try to figure it out, I wouldn't even recommend that. Spirit doesn't want to have to tell you what to do. It's more of just, well, you already know the answer because you have it inside you. So, you know, connecting to your intuition would be helpful, or just resting. Taurus people know how to enjoy life. So like if you can rest, enjoy your life, the answer would just flow to you. It would just come to you. You wouldn't have to overthink, because sometimes when we overthink, we can create kind of a resistance around it. So if you can just let go, flow a little bit, I think this answer would come to you a lot more easily. Okay, let's see what else we have. Whoops, I just knocked the light. I'm a little bit clumsy today. I think I'm tired. Okay, so we've got find a balance. Find the balance between your work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and productivity in your life. Take a power nap. Yeah, some of you guys, there's no question that you all have a wonderful sense of work ethic. You all are hard working. But I think that need for rest would also bring you a lot of clarity. I think that if you would just stop and rest and actually sleep, the answer would probably come to you in a dream, and it would be so easy. But I think balance is also very important, especially even when you make this decision and you go down this like one career path, because it's going to be so right for you. You know, it's going to be very easy for you to overwork yourself because the work is going to be satisfying. The work is going to feel fulfilling. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to get a sense of purpose from it because it's the right path. But, and when I say right path, I mean right path for you, okay? But even when you love your job, even when you love your work, even when you love creating, you still need to rest. So I think that's just a gentle reminder there from your spirit guides. All right, and I am going to rest with a sip of tea. Okay, let's continue. So we've got inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart, and deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. Okay, this is just repeating the last card that we got. Deep replenishment, okay? If you guys can rest, you can avoid burnout, okay? If you replenish, if you take care of yourself, and also, like, you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to carry all of your struggles throughout your work day, throughout your life by yourself. Give some away. Your spirit guides are saying, like, our hands are open, right? Like, we will take on some of this burden for you if you just ask us. Ask us for help. Ask us to be here. Like, we want to comfort you. We want to hold you. Let us hold some of this weight for you, because it's a lot to carry around and you're not even meant to, like, put it down. So I think that's just another, we're gonna say it twice just to make sure you get it, but this inner temple, this to me is like, you know, when you do rest, when you do tune in to your heart, to your intuition, to what lights up your own soul. Because if you think of devotion, if you devote time to yourself, time to replenish, time to heal, time to take care of yourself, you are an extension of the divine. So taking care of yourself is devotion to the divine, okay? You know, if you're the divine's creation, would you like throw, like, let's say that you're like a beautiful portrait that the divine created, that your spirit guides like painted. Would you throw it around? Would you toss it to the side? No, you would take gentle care of it. So you are the divine's creation. Take care of yourself. Devote time to yourself. And you really can't give to others in your life. You really can't give 100% to your work if you're running on 25%. You know, so it's very true. You have to fill up your own cup before you can give to anyone or anything else in your life. Okay, so let's see what else we have. We're gonna get a Spirit Cat's oracle message here. I love the pictures on these. Oh my gosh, are you serious? You got balance again? Wow, okay. All right. These are just the funniest names. Meet Vero Tiptoe Sky. She can balance perfectly with an inner precision and assurance. She leans one way and then the other, constantly adjusting and learning where her center lies. It very much looks like this card, right? Her center. She understands the dichotomies, work and play, togetherness and solitude, inner reflection and outward expression, striving and letting go, accepting and changing, freedom and discipline, reason and intuition, spiritual expansion and grounding. They go on and on. Let Vero help you see what areas of your life are out of balance and what shifts you can make to return to a graceful equilibrium. I think because you're going to be having all of this success in your career that's going to come in fast, and you're going to be in this process of figuring out what to do, you get this sudden moment of clarity, you decide, you commit, you work hard, you get your material abundance, right? Sometimes when we get material abundance, okay, we hold on to it too tightly. You know, it's kind of like the Four of Pentacles. Because we've worked so hard, we hold on to it tightly. We don't want to let it go. We're afraid of losing it. And I think especially if you are self-made and you've come from nothing, when you do get security, financial abundance, you get a good paying job, you hold on to it really tightly, right? Because you never had this before and you don't want to lose it. And it can kind of take away the gratitude, the enjoyment, the pleasure of it. It can create, you know, something that was really positive is now something that is anxiety inducing. And it's not meant to be like that. And just because you rest, just because you set healthy boundaries with your employer, doesn't mean that you're going to lose what you've gained. And I think especially too, like if this is you starting your own business, I mean, you can always work, right? There's no one there to tell you to clock out. You can always be working. And there's always something you could be doing. And so there can be this guilt of like, well, if I take a rest, if I take a break, I'm lazy, I'm selfish, I am, you know, risking everything. You know, it can feel just like very, you can get very guilt-ridden, right? So that working hard is good, but anything done in excess, right? It's not meant to be like that, right? So there's a need for balance here. It's saying, yes, like be grateful, be happy that you got this opportunity, and we're so proud of you, but we want you to still take care of yourself. We don't want this to become, you know, we don't want this blessing to become something that gives you anxiety and something that worries you and causes you stress. That wasn't the point of it. We blessed you with this. We want you to enjoy it. You know, what is the point of all of this if you're not enjoying it? And so yes, balance. Balance is key. And you're not selfish and you're not lazy if you take some time to take care of yourself. In fact, it's a very responsible thing to do, no matter what anyone makes you feel like. And I think for a lot of you, it's not even anyone else. It's just your own inner self-critic. And maybe that's something that you were taught when you were young. But, you know, Spirit is saying it's time to unlearn that now. It's time to let it go. That belief system is going to hold you back. Okay. So let's end our cards with some positive oracle messages. We've got hope is the conduit for miracles. I definitely feel like this, when that Seven of Cups comes in and you have all of this like sudden opportunity, it's probably definitely going to feel like a miracle. There's a strong sense of your spirit guides are about to bless you. And some of you may have already received this blessing. It's going to vary a little bit from person to person, but you're definitely getting a major blessing in the area of your career and your material wealth. So we got, I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. So typically when I see this card, I kind of think of forgiving others. But for you all, within the context of this reading, this is coming through to me more. This is you looking back on your past self with love and affection. So if you're typically someone who is really critical, you know, of your past choices, if you feel like you have a lot of regrets, or you're like, you think a lot of like, oh, I should have done this, or like, how could I have been so stupid? Why did I, if you get caught up in those thoughts, that is going away. And if you're still like that, Spirit is encouraging you to look at your past self with love and be kind to them and be gentle and say, I did the best that I could at that time, and I was making choices based upon like what I knew at that time, like how mature I was, how emotionally evolved I was, like just with the knowledge that I had and the skills that I had. And, I'm proud of myself for growing, but I can understand and have empathy for my past self. That's very important. Anytime you carry around a lot of regrets, or you're hard on a past version of yourself, it's really just another form of self-hate in the present, right? In the present moment. So if you hate so much all of your choices that brought you here, you can't possibly love the you that exists right now, right? Like, you can't hate everything that you did that brought you to being this version of yourself and say with a straight face that you love yourself. You can't do that. It doesn't make logical sense. So treat all of your past selves with kindness, okay? I'm gonna take a sip of tea. I don't know. I think my throat is just sore today. Okay. Oh, that's all of our cards. Okay, so now we're going to grab some Grace matchsticks just for some additional guidance. I love these, they're so cute. Okay, so pile 2 will get you 3. Pile 2, you guys have probably figured out by now that 3 is one of my favorite numbers. Okay, pile 2. So we've got make a list of the morals and values that are important to you. This, I think, would be very helpful when you're in that 7 of Cups moment. If you're trying to figure out which way do I go, understanding what you value and what you want your life to look like would help you out so much. I think that would be a lot better than making a pros and cons list. I think that that is a great way to just confuse yourself. Okay. We've got meditate, Lord. Meditate on what gives your life meaning. So you kind of already got that card, right? With the inner temple. So meditation could be really beneficial for you. And we've got find a few minutes to reflect on the good things in your life. So self-reflection, meditation, and really figure out what your values are. And you can look up, there are a lot of really good just worksheets online that have like value lists. I'm in a social work program, so they're always trying to get us to identify what our values are. So you can look at, I think if you look up like ACT therapy and look up values, there may even be some CBT worksheets that you can find on the internet that just have list of values. There are so many. I think if you sit down without one of those lists in front of you, it can be kind of hard to think like, what are values? But you see one of those lists though and you're like, oh my gosh, I value so many of these things, like what do I even pick? Kind of just go through and number them, and kind of prioritize which are like your top 5, I think would be helpful. Okay, let's end with your meditation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip through this book and I'm just going to intuitively stop on whichever page I feel called to for pile 2, and then we'll just read part of the meditation. We won't read the whole thing. Okay, pile 2. 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 Okay. Sorry, it took me a little bit longer for you guys. All right, we've got forgiving. Forgiveness will set your soul free. Holding on to the energy of the past will stop you from creating a beautiful and exciting future for yourself. When you can get to an authentic space where you feel a true sense of forgiveness, your life will radically and magically transform. And so here we have, you can kind of just insert whoever here you need to forgive. For you all, I really think it's a past version of yourself. So we'll say, I forgive myself for the past. Most important, I also show myself forgiveness. I release the energy of the past and move forward into a bright, happy, vibrant future where I am creating special memories with my friends and loved ones. Life is too short to hold on to grudges. I let the situation go with love, light, and compassion. So be it, so it is. So like I said, for some of you, there may be someone in your past that you need to forgive. I think, we all can name a few people in our lives who have done us wrong. But for a lot of you, I think it's yourself. I really do. I think having compassion for Lord, what is wrong with me today? Forgiving past versions of yourself would be really, really beneficial, pile 2. I am so sorry. I feel like I was tripping up on my words in pile 1 too. It was a busy day at work, so I think I'm just done with talking. But I was really feeling called to film this today, and I'm still glad that I did. So yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed your reading, pile 2. If it resonated, or if you just like this reading, please comment down in the comments. I would comment down in the I need to go to bed. Comment down below in the comments section. Words. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, all that jazz. I'm really trying to grow our community, and I get so excited by every little comment, view that I get. Every new subscriber, it makes me so happy. I really do. I really enjoy filming these, and it's nice to know I'm not just talking to air and that people are watching. So yeah, it would help out a lot, pile 2. Please take care. I'm really excited for you all. Your spirit guides have some really great things planned for you. So take care, and I will see you in my next one. Okay, for everyone who chose the Irish breakfast tea, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So I was telling the other groups, I don't think I mentioned this in the intro, but I went with an Alice in Wonderland theme today, because when I think of urgency, I think of the White Rabbit and Alice running after him as he's trying to get to the Queen of Hearts. So anyway, that's just a brief explanation, but let's get into it. We've got the 6 of Cups, we've got the Page of Pentacles, and the 8 of Wands. Sorry, I'm a little paranoid making sure the camera's filming. Okay, so for you all, take this as it resonates, but right away I'm getting this message for some of you, especially with the 6 of Cups. I read this as a very romantic and nostalgic card. When I see the 6 of Cups, I think of someone coming into our life that we knew from our past, that we knew from childhood. And childhood could even be high school, okay? Or it could be our younger years in college. It doesn't have to mean when you were really little. But this is some romantic love interest coming in that you used to know at one point in time. And you didn't have to have this isn't necessarily an ex, right? It's just someone that you knew from childhood. And it can also mean this is someone that we knew in a past life. So this is a soulmate that we've had some sort of romantic partnership with in a past life, and maybe even across multiple lifetimes. There's just this sense of romance and kind of very cute and sweet and warm and cozy. There's just this sense of comfort when you're with this person, and it's a very sweet and caring, kind of dreamy relationship. And with the Eight of Wands, like this is coming in quickly, okay? This is not something that you were expecting, not something you were planning on. You likely, if it's someone from your past, you may not have even, maybe you had a crush on them, but it may have been something that was very like lighthearted. You know, this isn't someone that, you know, you recognized as a soulmate necessarily, okay? So it can kind of surprise you. And with Six of Cups relationships, I kind of think of it as like your friends first, and then it develops into something more. But this person comes back into your life unexpectedly, and you're kind of like, wow, like, wonder what the reason was that fate had me run into that person. Like, what purpose does that person serve in my life? That was kind of weird, like running into that person. There's this element of divine timing, okay? And with Eight of Wands, like, yes, I definitely think of that as urgency, right? Eight of Wands energy, when it comes in, usually like it's stuff that we've asked for, it's stuff that we've manifested, but it comes in very quickly, unexpectedly, even though bizarrely we're expecting it because we manifested it. But it comes in a lot faster than what we thought. We're like, wow, like I know I asked for a new love, but this kind of came in really fast. And it can also come in a way that you're not expecting. So if you know, let's just say you had a crush on this person in high school, and you know, it lasted a couple months and then you got over it. You know, you never acted on your feelings, whatever, and then you randomly run into this person in the grocery store and you're like, how? Like, I don't even live in the same like state anymore. How did I run into you here? Like, what is going on? What is the meaning of all this? And if you're someone who watches tarot, like pick-a-cards, you're a believer in signs, most likely. You're a believer in fate and destiny, or like, you know, you're like, everything kind of happens for a reason. So like, what's up, spirit? Like, what's your plan here? Sorry if you guys can hear my cat in the background. I feel like I'm even talking faster. Like, I have more energy in this reading compared to the other two groups. I don't know, there's just something about the way your guides are coming through here. And with this Page of Pentacles, that's another kind of making me think of like childhood. Like, this is someone that I knew back in the day. Like, most likely they're an earth sign, or that's could be just how you perceived them. So think Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, someone who was studious, hardworking, someone who, if the more Taurus, like enjoyed the finer things, was well dressed. Taurus, we think of someone who's very attractive. Taurus is really into beauty, right? We could also think of Virgo, like they were organized, orderly, perfectionistic. They, you know, whatever. You know, and for some of you too, it could be like, maybe you didn't even like this person back in the day. Maybe it was like, sorry, my cat just has the zoomies right now. See, she's also affected by this Eight of Wands energy. You know, it could be too that you just never saw this person in this way, and so it's a bit surprising when they come back and you're like, oh, huh, like, have they changed, or has my perception changed? Like, who has changed here? This person isn't quite how I remembered them being. Now, for those of you who are already in a relationship, what in the world? Gracie! Gracie. I'm so sorry. My cat has lost it. I am so sorry. Like, she can use her paws to open the laundry room door, and then she gets stuck behind the washer. And it's like, why? Why do you do this? I love her so, so, so much. She's the best cat ever. But why? Like, why do you do this? Okay, sorry. Back to your reading. So, for those of you who are already in a romantic partnership, for some of you, sorry, just knocked the table. For some of you, honestly, this may not be your group. It could mean a fresh start in your relationship where you feel like kids again, and you feel like things are back to the way they used to be when you first got together. You get kind of nostalgic for those early days in a relationship where things were going great and you were in the honeymoon phase. That could be a possibility. But honestly, I'm thinking for most of you, this is new love that's coming in. I really do. I get that very strongly. But we'll see. Let's see what the other cards have to say. So we've got Mercury. So it could be too, like, maybe you don't meet this person out in public. It could be that you get like an unexpected message on social media, like this unexpected text or call out of the blue that comes through. That could be a possibility. Otherwise, though, your communication with this person is going to be great. I mean, when you come into contact with them and you sit and you talk, this isn't like small talk, okay? Like, you're going to be, even more than reminiscing, you're going to be really connecting with this person. You know, it's going to be like, yeah, like let's grab a cup of coffee. And then it's like 4 hours later and you're still talking. You're like, actually, let's get some food with this coffee, because if we're going to keep talking like this, I'm going to need to eat. It's going to be that kind of energy where you're enjoying yourself so much with this person that the time just flies by, you know, and you definitely don't run out of things to say. Okay, so we've got Jupiter. Yes, I feel like this is going to be a very lucky meeting. You know, when you come into contact with this person, I think for a lot of you, it is going to be just like you unexpectedly meet this person when you're out and about. But it's going to feel fated. It's going to feel like divine timing. It's going to feel like, I'm so lucky I met this person by chance, that I ran into them, because we could have very easily missed each other. And I have to believe that my guides and their guides, our higher, Lord, our higher selves, like, sort of divinely guided, like orchestrated us connecting with one another again. And it's almost kind of like, for those of you, like I said, if this is someone that you knew from childhood, it's kind of like, even as, you know, even though we kind of went far away, even though we were, you know, went down these very different paths, we were always meant to come back together. I just made a heart. I don't know if you guys saw. That was kind of funny. We were always meant to come back together. And so even though it's unexpected when this happens, it also feels like it was part of a plan. Okay, I'm gonna sip a tea. She is running all over the place. I bet you guys hear like the jingling of her collar. I'm gonna have to play with her when I'm done with this. Okay, so, and also like, even though there's this fast, unexpected change coming in, and like I said, with 8 of Wands, it's always positive, but I always want to highlight here, even though I'm talking about fate, destiny, divine timing, all of like soulmates, past lives, and getting into all of that, always remember you do have free will, and you know, never discount that, okay? Like, never think that you don't have a choice in all of this. And, you know, for those of you who are already in a romantic partnership, communication is going to be improving. I think you're going to feel lucky that you guys have made it through everything that you've made it through. And even when challenges have come through, you've kind of been able to, with the 8 of Wands, adjust, right? Like, you've been able to meet whatever has come up. I think it's going to be like you guys have grown together. And maybe at times you doubted that, but now it's coming through like, okay, I see that this was all meant to make us stronger. Like I said though, I have a sneaking suspicion that most of you guys who chose this pile are either single or you're unhappy in a situationship and that is coming to a close and new love is coming in. So we've got mutable, I would say so. Surrender, fluidity, welcoming change. Mercury, mutable. With Mercury, I think of Gemini, like mutable. There's a lot of change coming in for sure. Sagittarius, Jupiter, also mutable. You have mutable all over the place. You have change all over the place. It's kind of like your guides are like, just wait for it. They're like, just wait for it. And when it comes, you'll be good. Just go with the flow. Just wait for it. It's coming. We've got the 11th house, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. So with the 11th house, we think of Aquarius, right? We think of the collective. Aquarius people are great friends, right? They're always thinking about the group, the other. They're the opposite sign to Leo. So for you all, I definitely think this is a possibility that this was someone in your social circle when you were younger. This is someone that you had mutual friends with. It could also mean that with you guys getting this new love connection coming in, that you'll also be meeting a lot of new people through this person because you're going to be meeting their friends, their family, their loved ones. So it's going to broaden the social connections that you have in your life. And anytime you meet someone and you reconnect with someone, you have someone new re-enter, come into your life, whatever, they bring a lot of new ideas, right? Because they're a different person than you. They have they don't have the exact same perspective that you have. So I think especially with Mercury, this is going to be someone that you don't just sit around and talk about gossip or just like stupid pop culture stuff. Hey, that can be fun. But I think you guys also discuss more serious topics and you discuss your beliefs and your values and, issues that matter to you with the humanitarian beliefs there. So you guys get beyond just the surface, superficial kind of conversation topics. And I think for those of you who are already in a partnership, this could just be that your social circle is expanding, you're meeting new people, and it can even just be as simple like, okay, now we have someone that we can go on like couple dates with, I'm sorry I'm not giving as much of a reading for those of you already in a relationship, but I'm not gonna lie, like I really do. I just see this more for my single people or my people who are not happy in their current partnerships, because I know sometimes with the labels it can get a little messy these days. Okay, let's see what else we have. We've got believe in magic. Open your eyes and see the magic that's all around you in nature. The fairy of the northern lights says you are part of nature, so you are magical too. With this believe in magic, I think it really speaks to that 8 of Wands. When this person comes in, they're going to feel like a miracle. They're going to feel like a blessing. It's just going to feel like a gift wrapped present with a big bow from the universe. It's going to make you believe in possibility. And if you think about it, like if you've been trying to manifest your soulmate, right? Just for example, and then you meet someone, and especially if there's someone that you used to know, and then they come back into your life, you're like, oh, that feels like really purposeful, especially like if they went totally their own route, like they are in a completely different like physical location than you, and you happen to cross paths in a really weird divine timing kind of way. Don't you feel powerful? Like, don't you feel like, oh my gosh, I manifested a person? Like, that is so incredible. That manifesting a soulmate is so much harder than manifesting just something like a house or a car, like something tangible, right? Because when you manifest a person, when you ask the universe to gift you with your soulmate, align you with your soulmate, that is hard because that person also energetically has to match you. And that's so much harder than anything that's, not living and breathing and with their own beating heart, So won't you feel like, wow, if I can do this, what else can I manifest, right? You're gonna feel like, oh wow, like I can do anything with the help of my spiritual team here. Like, okay, like let's manifest financial freedom, like whatever else you're wanting. Yeah, I think it's going to definitely kind of open up your spiritual side, because you're going to be so grateful and so empowered. It's going to be a really, really magical time for you. Okay, let's see what else we have. We got Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? And Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. When I look at this card, I think of the High Priestess. But also I think this is kind of echoing that idea of you are being brought into alignment with your soul family, your soul tribe, whatever terminology you want to use. I think for those of you who are getting a new love in your life, it's likely that person is your soulmate, and that person is going to introduce you to people who are also soul connections. They're just not romantic. So like through meeting this person, you're going to elevate yourself, and you're going to meet people through them. But I think also just you feeling better about yourself and more confident, kind of like in your manifestation abilities, I think that's going to, allow you to put yourself out there more. And that's also going to call in this Sisterhood of the Rose, like-minded people, okay? And with the Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? I always think it's good to, especially if we're trying to manifest a soulmate, it's good to take care of yourself in the meantime. Like, don't get so caught up in the manifestation process that you get hyper focused on it and you forget to take care of yourself. Like, you are still like your top priority, right? So being gentle with yourself, work on your healing. It's not like you have to be the best absolute version of yourself to call in your soulmate, but we should always be continually improving, right? We should always, that's the point, right? Just self-growth. And it's not about fixing yourself, but it's about nurturing yourself. And so, it's not looking to a soulmate to heal you, help you, take care of you. No, you can take care of yourself, but it's going to feel very good to know when your soulmate does come in, I can take care of myself, but I also have this other person to support me, and they have me to support them. And isn't that comforting, right? So this is just calling you to ask you, engage in some self-reflection and just ask yourself, are there some ways in which I could start taking better care of myself, in the meantime? Okay. So let's get our little spirit cat card. I love this one so much. It's so pretty. Okay, we've got gratitude. Meet Grace. She receives the gifts of the universe with open paws. When she shifts her mind to see what wonders are flowing in, the world glimmers with beauty. It is easy to focus on all those unmet desires, gone astray plans, and everything beyond the horizon of now. Let Grace remind you to notice all the blessings we are receiving. What feels good? Let it in. What is making your heart sing even a quiet momentary song? Who do you love that is with you now in spirit or right by your side? Let each thank you open your heart a little more. I think with this card, when you manifest a soulmate, when you get a new love come into your life, that's a big gift to receive. And so I feel like with this message in particular, it's good to remind yourself you deserve love, you're worthy of love. This person is going to seem so amazing to you. Never think for a second, am I good enough? or why is this person into me, or this person is so attractive, I can't believe they like me, or, you know, any of those like self-deprecating thoughts, let them go. You deserve this person, and you need to hurry up and realize that and accept that and realize how great you are, because they deserve you too. And if you're over here feeling sorry for yourself and self-sabotaging and thinking you're not worthy and being a downer, then you're gonna like let that person slip through your fingers, and you're going to do a disservice to both of you, because together there's so much potential there for you to grow. Okay? So don't cheat yourself and don't cheat them out of a beautiful connection. So if there's any lingering self-doubt, you know, issues around self-love and worthiness, and let it go. You are good enough. You are lovable. You deserve love. We all do, okay? All right, so let's see. We're gonna end our cards with some positive oracle messages. We've got, when I lean toward love, I am led. Pretty straightforward. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. I think for some of you, meditating could help bring this connection in faster. But honestly, with the Eight of Wands, it's already going to be happening pretty quickly once the ball gets rolling. Okay, let's get some Grace matchsticks here. Just going to get 3 for my pile of 3s. 3 for pile 3. So we've got set an intention each morning to make the day a good one. Play music that lifts your soul, and treat others as they want to be treated. Okay, those are all pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to give you a big explanation. Okay, so now we'll end with your meditation from this book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip through and just intuitively stop on whichever page is calling to me, and then we'll read the meditation. We're not going to go through the whole thing because that would be a lot to read, but we're going to read the gist of it, okay? And then we'll apply it to your reading, and then we'll be done. Okay, so pile 3. Pile 3. Oh, wow, okay. I love this. So you all got vulnerable. Being vulnerable activates magic within relationships, both personal and professional. The willingness to truly be open and honest about how you're feeling and what you've experienced is a gift. It took me many years to feel brave enough to share from a space of vulnerability. In fact, there have been several moments throughout this book where I've questioned if I'm being too vulnerable. It can be scary, but when you open up to people and share from an authentic space of experience, it empowers others who resonate with your story. Okay, dear universe, I ask that my feelings of vulnerability are strengthened, so I can share my perspective and experience to inspire others. Show me how I may be of service and how my past had a purpose. So be it, so it is. Okay, I love that. In the context of a love reading, that is such a beautiful meditation. I always say, like, if you want love in your life, you have to be vulnerable and open to heartbreak, right? Like you have to be open to the risk, the possibility that someone you love could hurt you. They could break your heart, right? Like you're entrusting them to not do that. But if you don't trust, if you don't open your heart up, well, no one can hurt you, but no one can ever truly love you either, can they? Because they won't know you. They won't really see you unless you're vulnerable. So it's a balance, right? And that vulnerability comes over time. as you learn to trust them and they learn to trust you. You set boundaries, they respect them, you open up, you're vulnerable, and they hold you, right? They don't drop it. And then, they're vulnerable with you too. It's this equal give and take, right? Two of Cups. So I think that's a good reminder, because especially if you're watching this video and you do have those feelings of low self-worth from time to time, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, we've all experienced that at some point. And if you've had disappointing partners in the past, people who hurt you, people who took advantage of you, people who used you, it can be hard. You can have walls up, right? Being vulnerable is scary. It can make you feel stripped down. So be patient with yourself and definitely take being vulnerable at your own pace. And I definitely think, given that we've had a lot of signs that this person is your soulmate and they knew you from your past, it's likely that they'll be patient with you. And if you're soulmates, it could also be that they also have these same issues, and you two together, your relationship with one another is going to be very healing, and it's going to help you learn and work through some of these issues that you have, so that you can both, grow together. Okay, so this was your reading, pile 3. I hope this resonated. I am so sorry for the disruption with Gracie's zoomies. That will happen from time to time on this channel. She's my baby kit. But yeah, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you like the meditation at the end of the reading, please let me know. I appreciate all the feedback that I get, especially because this is a new channel and I'm really trying to grow our community, and I want to make sure these videos are the best that they can be for you guys. So please let me know, and yeah, take care. I think you all have, I'm not gonna lie, your reading was my favorite reading, but please take care, be gentle with yourself, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, Lord, bye, pile 3. I've had so much trouble speaking today. I need to go to bed. Bye, pile 3. I'll see you in my next one.